All of the Walt Disney World theme parks are super fun, but of course Epcot maybe holds an edge when it comes to eating and drinking. We were there in October of 2023. We went a bunch of days, honestly. We spent a lot of half days in Epcot, not only for the characters and the rides, but of course also food and drink. We did a drink around the world for the very first time, and it was Food and Wine Festival, so we'll chat about those today.
It was a little bit of a race to the finish to make sure we got it all the way around the world, but we got it done.
For any of you new here, hey, I'm Jacqueline.
And I'm Adam.
This is the Pixie Dust PhD channel, and this little star comes and goes as she pleases. We talk a lot about Disney on this channel, whether it's our trips to Disney, that's mostly Disney World, but occasionally Disneyland, Disneyland Paris, talk about Disney Vacation Club a lot. So we're so happy that you're here, and if you want to stick around, be sure to hit the subscribe button. You can then ring the bell icon to receive notifications whenever we upload new videos. And if you find this video helpful, useful, fun, informative, any of those things, please be sure to hit that thumbs up button to like the video. For experiencing the Food and Wine Festival in Epcot while we were there, I don't think we had any clear set goals. We were pretty sure that we would be able to do the cheese walk just because we like eating cheese, so that was gonna be fairly easy, but otherwise we really just ate as we pleased. We did get the Brazilian cheese bread, always a hit.
I think the only thing we got multiple times, I think, was a crab cake, which was actually really surprisingly good for a theme park crab cake.
Oh yeah, Coastal Eats, right?
Yeah.
It was quite tasty. I'm not sure if the crab to dollar ratio worked out in your favor, but there was considerably more crab than I was expecting.
Coastal Eats location over by Test Track made it pretty convenient, so we were able to do a quick pit stop the second time we had a craving for crab.
Flavors from Fire is also pretty much right there, and we got the skirt steak taco. Last time we went to this booth in 2021, it was just a chimichurri skirt steak, which I think was better, honestly. I feel like the taco was good, but it does kind of seem like one of those things where they were like, oh, if we make this a taco and give you a little bit less, we can make more money on, the same product.
And didn't we also get a corned beef cheese dish?
Oh, I think you did. I didn't eat any of that.
Oh, well, it counted towards our cheese walk.
It did.
And it was actually better than the taco, in my opinion. I had bites of both.
I believe him. I don't really enjoy corned beef, so stayed away from that one. Another item that I believe counted on the cheese walk was the griddled cheese at Greece, which we've had before and will continue to get every time they offer it because it is just cheesy perfection.
Yeah, it is a symphony of flavor and texture.
So good.
And highly recommend.
And it's a very kind of heavy thing to eat. You're eating a slab of cheese, so it's very shareable, which if you are going to split it with another person, then it becomes quite cheap. We also got the Boursin fig and balsamic souffle that was from Wine and Wedge, so sort of a cheese souffle, but actually the cheese flavor was pretty mild.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of this dish. It did check off another box on our cheese walk. I was initially pretty curious about how this would work. In theory, it sounds like it would work, but in practice, for me, it didn't hit the mark.
I thought it was fine. So yeah, exactly what you're saying. I wanted it to be more of a cheese souffle with more of a cheese flavor and then some fig, and it ended up being kind of bland and then fig. It was fig is what it tasted like.
It was a fig dish. It was 80% fig.
Which is, figs are good, so it was good in that sense. I think it just wasn't what either of us wanted it to be, so it ends up being a little disappointing. And not too far away from there, over at Char and Chop, we got the porchetta. Pretty dang good.
Yeah, that was very tasty. Really done well. They just slice it off, hand it to you. Delicious.
Yeah, I don't eat that type of meat very often, mostly because I find it kind of underwhelming. This was not that. This was surprisingly delicious. I think especially when you factor in that it's coming from a food and wine booth and not fresh out of a kitchen.
Yeah, there's just some things that lend itself to booth life.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of those things.
And they know how to execute it. I'm sure this isn't the first year that they've done it in one of the booths, and it's good. I would recommend.
Speaking of other things that we definitely would recommend, India.
India, always a winner for me.
Definitely a hit. The cheese dish there was basically a fried mott stick.
Yeah, I think it was probably paneer, right?
It was paneer.
And then
it was fried
with
paneer.
Curry spices and breaded and fried. And oh my God, now all I think about is what if I put curry spices on my mozzarella sticks at home? It was so good.
Yeah, it was more probably a fried cheese curd than a mott stick.
Yeah.
Definitely hear your teeth squeak.
Yeah, it's squeaky firm cheese. It's not pull apart melty mozzarella. But yeah, it's basically a riff on a mozzarella stick. I like paneer, so obviously I like the cheese. I like curry spices. I like deep fried things. There's nothing bad about it.
Yeah, and the curry that we got there was also really good too.
Oh, the chicken tikka masala?
Yeah.
Yeah. They always do pretty well with whatever like chicken curry dish that they're serving. No complaints. The line is usually pretty short. The prices there are extremely reasonable. Yeah, it was great. Those cheese sticks were kind of everything for me. And you stopped at the US food booth and got chilaquiles.
Yeah. First of all, I was surprised they had that on the USA menu, but it was pretty good. It was clear that the chips had been sitting in that sauce for maybe 15 minutes too long.
They were more soft than... It's usually like a balance of soft and crunchy, right? They were mostly just soft.
They were just soft. But as someone who at the time was craving a little bit of protein and wanted something tasty, it was really good. Hit the spot.
And when we did finish our cheese crawl, we turned in our little stamp booklet or, showed them proof of our stamps. And we got the completer treat, which was a strawberry soft serve with like a little mini cheesecake on top.
The mini cheesecake on top was the real winner.
Yeah, it was so good.
Soft serve, you can take it or leave it.
It was also so cold to the point where it was getting like icy, which is weird for soft serve.
Yeah, I guess they just want it to not melt in the Florida heat, which I get for as long as possible, but it was like too cold to eat at certain points.
Yeah, it was uncomfy. I had some dental work done recently, so my teeth were already a bit sensitive. So I enjoyed the cheesecake bit. I didn't eat too much of the soft serve, but it is like a free treat, free with purchase treat, and you get the cute little cup. So now we have that at home too. And then finally, we did stop by Brew-Wing and got some fun treats. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about the Muppets. No, I'm kidding.
The Muppets are fun though.
Muppets are fun. But what was less fun was the Scotch bonnet wings. Those are a slow burn that builds and builds and builds into a raging inferno. Yay. That got the best of me, ultimately.
Mistakes were made.
I definitely could have eaten a couple, but I had one that was super slathered in sauce that I had eaten that last slathered one after I had just downed two of them before, and just that constant build knocked me out of the game, unfortunately.
I think if you could eat them very slowly, every individual bite was fine.
Right.
It was the cumulative effect, right?
Exactly.
And you were kind of going quickly, I think, with the thought, there are some spicy foods that are better if you just kind of get it over with.
This is not that.
Not that.
But it was really good flavor bites. Definitely would have probably enjoyed eating maybe 3. It came with 6. And a couple were just so slathered in sauce that they were kind of a suicide mission.
I dipped my pinky in a little dab of sauce and I went, no, thank you.
Oh, at first you were like, oh, that's not so bad. And then 10 seconds later, oh, that's bad.
That's fair. But I mean, I knew just to do the pinky test. And then we got more usual wings. I think we got garlic parm or something. Those are good. It's the standard Brew-Wing wings. They're wings. They're not the best wings I've ever had, but also can't go wrong, really.
Yeah, my beer went as I was eating those hot wings.
Yeah, that was our experience at Food and Wine. What is your favorite, do you think?
Well, I definitely am still thinking about those curry cheese sticks.
Yeah, I think the India
really
booth is my favorite, which is, it's probably going to be true for the rest of forever unless the other booths really step it up. The flavor and execution and price combined at India just seems unbeatable to me.
Yeah, I think that definitely is going to take the top spot. The hot spot definitely goes to the wings.
Griddled cheese from Greece is also just forever one of my favorite. I just like cheese, okay?
Yeah. And I'm glad we finally got the completer cup and treat.
Definitely. And yeah, I guess honorary mention to those crab cakes. I was pretty impressed, all things considered. And then the other big thing we tackled at EPCOT was, of course, our drink around the world. So we did this over, I think, 3 different trips to EPCOT.
Yeah.
So we definitely paced ourselves and, weren't trying to go crazy or anything. And not in any particular order, here is how it went. So we did get Viking coffees in Norway. You got a hot one. I got a frozen one.
Eee! Stop 1. Viking coffees. This is frozen, quote unquote. This is hot, I guess. Is it hot or?
I mean, it's warm.
Warm hot. Okay, cheers.
It's drinkable. It's not like McDonald's scalding.
Oh, this is like pure sugar.
It's like a milkshake.
Yeah, it's like a melted milkshake. It's less thick than a melted milkshake, but it's...
Is this the first thing you want to be eating in the morning?
Well, it is what it is.
frozen Viking coffee is not actually frozen. It's not like Frappuccino. It's not like an icy. It's like they made a milkshake and let it melt most of the way.
Yeah, it was a milkshake.
It was a really weird texture for me. I think the taste was totally fine, but I couldn't really get over the texture. Or like it wasn't thick enough or silky enough to be like cojito, but then it also wasn't actual liquid. It was weird. I didn't like it. It was like just texturally like a bad sensation for me.
The hot Viking coffee was basically just the Irish coffee without the whipped cream, I'd say.
Yeah, if we were going to go back, I would get the hot one over the cold one. But also, like, I don't know. I think it's pretty forgettable.
But what's not forgettable is that it's open early.
That's true. You can start your journey early, which is important.
Yes. It's one of the few places, it's the bakery in Norway, so it's open before everything else at 11. So it's a really good, sneaky way to help pace yourself throughout the day.
Yeah. And then we went to La Cava del Tequila for Mexico.
Ooh. There's a rose and everything. Oh my god. Beautiful.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
Enjoy, you're welcome.
Which one is this? Malinita?
Yeah.
Very nice. That's
Very-
a big garnish.
Yeah, very mezcal.
Very mezcal, yeah.
We each got a cocktail. Our friend got a cocktail. Our friend also got an additional walking cocktail that we then all shared on our way to a ride or something. But I mean, you can't really go wrong with La Cava del Tequila. In France, we ended up getting the Grand Marnier slushies. So I was actually kind of surprised that this happened, but there basically was just no line. And we were walking by like, we're like, well, that's the shortest this line's ever gonna be. So we just went for it.
Giant?
Do you want to sip the Grand
Normal.
Marnier?
Just pure Grand Marnier on top.
Do you want some pure Grand Marnier?
There's some in there.
There's a lot here.
I see that. Okay, I'll take a tiny sip, but not much.
Yeah, we knew we had to check France off the list at some point. And yeah, no line, hot day, frozen slushy alcohol. Sign me up.
Yep, and then the line for the food and wine booth was already forever long. So it was like, well, whatever the specialty slush is, isn't worth the time to me, personally. The Grand Marnier slush is dessert. Like, it's not a drink. I mean, it is. There's alcohol, but it doesn't read as a drink to me. It very much reads as like, here, have a popsicle. Which, like, no hate, but it's not for everyone. It's definitely on the sweeter side of things. To check off the UK, we stopped in at the Rose and Crown pub, so the to-go side, not the restaurant. I got a Pim's Cup.
And I got a snake bite.
Snake bite. Cider and lager. Pim's Cup and cider with fireball.
I don't think I had ever gotten a Pim's Cup there before, which is surprising because I love that drink. It's something I'll order anywhere. But I usually end up just getting a pear cider that they carry that I really like a lot. But I mean, if you're gonna go to the pub, may as well get the Pim's Cup.
Nice. Definitely was good, right?
Yeah, it was a solid riff. That's the thing about Pim's Cups is they're kind of always a gamble because there's so many variations. You never really know how they're gonna make it. I thought this one was pretty solid and tasty.
And mine was just simply a mix of cider and beer. Exactly what you expect. Fairly light, good flavor mix. And yeah, it was good for walking around.
Yeah, definitely good walk-in drinks. In Japan, we stopped at the food and wine booth and ended up getting the sake cocktail, which I'm pretty sure had a passion fruit blend. Maybe not fully passion fruit, but it was definitely in there.
This is the sake passion cocktail from the Japan food and wine booth. The line was long, but it moved really, really fast. It tastes like passion fruit, not much else. Sweet, tart, fun plastic flute, $8.75. No real complaints.
And that was like, again, that was juice, that was dessert. Like, there is alcohol, but there wasn't alcohol, you know what I mean? So very slammable, which is fun. But, you know, there's no sense of balance or complexity or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely one of those booth drinks that are fairly forgettable.
Yeah.
And definitely something where it's like, man, I should have gotten some wine instead.
I mean, I'm not mad about it, but I like that fruit flavor profile, so I'm usually not mad about those, even if it is just like, okay, I'm drinking juice. Like, For the USA Pavilion, we went to the Regal Eagle outside cocktail bar where we ordered a moonshine sour and a Tennessee lemonade.
Moonshine sour, Tennessee lemonade. This is a melted Jolly Rancher. Very sweet. This is a whiskey sour. Very different drinks. both good though. Definitely not like craft cocktails though, for the record. Very pre-mixed. Very low effort for the cast.
Yeah.
While we were waiting in line, Hanson was playing, which was a great accompaniment to our wait. The bar line can get long there because it's a pretty popular bar. But we both shared each other's drinks. We were walking around and it was good. I definitely think the Tennessee lemonade is a little bit better in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the moonshine sour is a melted Jolly Rancher. Like, once again, it's juice. It's very sweet.
They do shake the cocktails though, so it has a little bit of, it's better than your typical booth drink, I'd say.
Yeah, that's probably fair, though we did experience a shift change at the Regal Eagle cocktail bar. And so like the person before who switched out was really like putting things in the tin and like mixing and pouring over ice. And then the person we got just like, was like, alcohol, mixer, here you go.
So we had to mix it on our own.
Yeah, we were like, can you give us something to stir it with? Like, it was disappointing. It was pretty lame, honestly. But there's always variability, I guess, in your bartenders. In Italy, we stopped in the wine shop and got white wine. I don't know how to say it. I apologize in advance. It's Vermentino, something like that. Text on screen.
All right, stopped at the Enoteca, the wine shop in Italy. Got a double pour of a white Pergola. I don't really know. I'll put text in on screen.
Looks like a triple pour of me.
It's a big pour. We are splitting this.
There's so many places in Italy we can grab wine, but that little wine shop always moves quick, has good selection, and they're always super friendly.
Yeah, it also seems like super authentic. Not that I know what I'm talking about, but I mean, you're reading down the list of lines, you're like, yeah, those are Italian. So yeah, wine is always a good option in Italy. There, of course, again, was like the food and wine booth where you can get cocktails, but that line gets ridiculous. I don't think it moves as fast as the wine shop. And I just think that the experiences you can have from the wine shop are probably a little bit more special. And to continue our wine journey over in Germany, we got some Rieslings.
All right, it's pre-fireworks time, so it's very loud, but we are at the Germany Food and Wine booth, continuing our drinking around the world. We each got one of these Sellback Rieslings. This one, we asked, and it does still have about 0.5% alcohol, so it's not totally alcohol-free, but we just went with the standard Riesling, $6.50 each. Here's our little Riesling cup.
It's good.
Cheers. Oh, it is on the sweeter side of things for a Riesling, but it's good.
So good.
Very good.
Not too sweet.
Not too sweet, fairly balanced. Yay, Germany, check.
Riesling is such a good grape, if you ask me. I think it gets a bad rep because bad Riesling can be like quite sweet and one note and gross, but there's a lot of really great Rieslings out there.
Yeah, Riesling can very much be a spectrum, but I think it does get a bad rap because it is a solid grape. It makes a lot of really solid wines. It goes with a lot of things. So when people say they recommend the Riesling, it's probably genuine, but you got to watch out for some of those bad apples. But I think ours was good. It was fairly well balanced.
It was on the sweeter side of things, but it definitely wasn't as like gross saccharine as it could have been for being in a theme park. So yeah, not my favorite Riesling I've ever had in my whole life, but
Sure.
Pretty good overall. In China, we did stop at their food and wine booth and got the fireworks cocktail.
Fireworks.
Fireworks from China. Adam already had a sip. He said I'd like it. Let's see. Oh, she's sweet. She's bubbly. A little bit. Yeah, it's good. It's I wouldn't want it for my first drink. I think it's a little saccharine perhaps, but you know, for a food and wine booth, pretty good, I would say.
Much like Japan, very slammable, very juice forward. I guess there's alcohol in there.
Somewhere.
Kind of one note, kind of forgettable. I'm not mad I drank it, but I'm not, craving to go get it again.
Probably picking up a theme here about the booth drinks being like liquid candy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just a lot of drinks at Disney, honestly, but the booths are like #1 offender of the cocktails there. They're batch made, they're easy things. So if you're gonna batch make a cocktail that's gonna hold up over hours, something overly sweet is probably your safest bet. For Canada, we did stop at their popcorn cart and got the Ottawa Apple. It's a little whiskey drink.
The Ottawa Apple at the Maple Popcorn booth. Ottawa Apple. Really smells like maple over here. Straw. I'm undecided.
Another Ottawa. Another one? Yeah.
The whiskey's really on the back end,
Yeah.
but
It's like crayon forward somehow.
it's like crayon apple juice with whiskey.
With whiskey in the back.
In the back, yeah.
I think the maple is also like affecting my senses, so let us step away. It like has a lot of sweetness on the nose. Okay. Canada.
By the trash can for accurate nose.
Scrim. Oh, I think it's considerably better without the maple in my nose, but it's like crayon apple juice and then you get whiskey on the end. It's kind of bizarre for a cocktail.
Yeah.
This is what we get for ordering alcohol at a popcorn cart. But I don't dislike it. It's just, I've never had anything like it.
Yeah, it's better now.
It's better now, yeah. The maple was not a good addition. All right, Canada, check.
I was pleasantly surprised by this, Jacqueline. How about you?
I was really surprised. I never really know how whiskey cocktails are gonna go. I think there's a lot of range in any given whiskey cocktail. And then you're talking about a whiskey cocktail at a popcorn cart in EPCOT. I was like, oh, that could not go well.
And what I really want to point out is how your experience with the drink standing next to the popcorn cart, and then drinking it not next to the popcorn cart. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so this is not just popcorn. It's maple popcorn. So it has a very, maple syrup sweet smell near it, like for many feet near it. That smell wafts heavily. And then you've got
Intentionally, I should add.
I'm sure it does. And then you have your whiskey cocktail, and so it gets handed to you. You're standing at the cart, and you go, and it's like, that's kind of weird. But if you walk away quite a bit, it tastes totally different. And so I think that the maple smell just like really infiltrated my senses and was like messing pretty much everything up about the cocktail. But yeah, once we left, it was like really well balanced, not overly sweet, like had some complexity, honestly, especially for being a cocktail from a popcorn cart. So I was really surprised. I was kind of nervous about Canada because it's like lots of beers, which I don't really drink, or like this one cocktail at a popcorn cart, which I was very suspicious about. And you know what? I unfairly judged it. And honestly, I might recommend it. It was pretty good. And finally, to complete our trip around the world, we stopped in at Spice Road Table in Morocco. So rather than actually eat at the restaurant, you can just sort of line up at the bar and grab a drink to go.
Moroccan meal to go. Spice Road Table Bar.
And we went probably like 8:40. Fireworks were starting at 9. The park was closing at 9. I was the last person that they served.
Yeah, they literally cut the line off right after Jacqueline got in line. There were a couple of people who showed up trying to grab drinks from the bar after. They were not allowed to enter the line.
Yeah, so just FYI, I don't know what official time that the to-go bar cuts it off, but it's not at close, okay? It happens a little early. I'm always a fan of mules. I think like ginger beer and drinks is a natural way to sort of add some balance to things because it's not, just sugary syrup sweet. It has some body to it. It has a little bit of that spice and kick. The Moroccan mule was really good. And yeah, we took it to go as we were walking out the park. No complaints. Overall, what are your thoughts about Drink Around the World?
It's a lot of drinks, first of all. So drink responsibly, hydrate. We bought a lot of bottled water for this trip and consumed a lot of it on these EPCOT days.
True.
But overall, very fun. I would say sometimes you just got to hit a booth up to check it off the list.
Yeah, that's the thing I was going to say is it's really fun. I think I am a goal-oriented person, so it's fun to have like your checklist to go do the things. But there were times where I was like, well, I guess we're going to the booth. And like, okay, I wouldn't normally have bought that drink, right? So that's in some sense money wasted, or you could have spent that money on something you wanted more.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But definitely fun to do once. There were definitely some spots that I think we tried and were able to check off our list and kind of confirmed what we thought about it. We didn't, of course, count some of like the one-off country booths that didn't have their own pavilion. It was one drink for each pavilion. So just so everyone's aware, that's how we plan this all out.
Yeah, I went by classic rules, okay? I'm not doing every booth that doesn't have its own country too. I also think it was helpful that we split it up over 3 days.
Yes.
I don't really know how people do it in one day now that I've done it over 3. Like, especially just because more than anything, the sugar content is so high that you do just start to get that, if you're old enough, you start to get that like crampy feeling in your stomach. And it's not from the alcohol, it's from the sugar. So yeah, if you're doing it in one day, I mean, do it safely, props to you. Definitely start early with your Viking coffee and then pace yourself all day. And I'm sure if we had to, for some reason, we could. But splitting it up made it like way more enjoyable. I can see Drink Around the World being super fun if you had like a bigger group of friends, if you guys were going for a work conference and staying, or a vacation, or someone's, you know, bridal shower, whatever it may be. I get it. I see the appeal for sure. It was fun to do just the two of us, but it definitely was more of like a personal checklist thing than like, you know, big atmosphere with our whole group, because it was just us for the most part.
Yeah, but it was fun just kind of moving from one pavilion to the next, and knowing that we were going to stop and check something off and trying to be strategic and try and win the day.
Yeah, and it also was a good way for us to force ourselves to do some things that we wouldn't normally, like the Ottawa apple in Canada, that I don't think I ever would have ordered if it wasn't part of my checklist. Overall, a very fun experience. I think I can probably recommend it. It absolutely depends on like your travel party and your priorities and preferences. If you want to set aside that kind of time and you enjoy drinking a cocktail and you're fine with like throwing some money at some things you probably wouldn't buy otherwise, yeah, go into it with a good attitude. You'll probably have a good time. It's not a blanket recommend for me though, and I don't know that we'll necessarily do it again anytime soon or ever.
I would say that going during Food and Wine to do it, the longest festival, definitely makes the most sense. If you just, it's probably the easiest, I should say, to do it during this festival.
For sure. And yeah, I think if we have done a friend trip to Disney before, if we did a friend trip again, I could see it being more of a thing. It does feel like it would be more fun in like a bigger group setting. There's the recap of big things at EPCOT for us. So Food and Wine Festival for the first time in a couple years, and Drink Around the World for the first time ever. We had a really good time. Of course, we always have a good time when we go to Disney, but EPCOT does hold a special place in our bellies. We hope you found this helpful, useful, entertaining, anything like that. May the rest of your day be magical. We'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
Oh, I can't get you from that angle. There we go. All right, settle in.